Hi, good evening, everyone. So, welcome to our Tuesday public class for today. So, everyone, if you can hear my voice, please type number one in the chat box. So, because today we have a very important guest that we invited to come to share with we all about a good topic. Oh, Tay, thank you very much. So, yes, this one, I always do this exercise before we kickstart. So, my name is Wilson On. I'm your host for tonight. As you all know, every Tuesday, do good. We have organized public awareness sharing about healthy, free for everyone. And this Tuesday is very special because we invited a human behavior and well-being specialist, Miss Katarina, to be with us. Okay, before you invite Miss Katarina to share for tonight the topic, we want to know that actually healthy is not only about our physical body, and we care about your emotional as well. And Katarina, she is a psychotherapy with over 10 years of experience supporting individual, family, and group to emotional, psychological, and life challenge. I know her like she from Slovakia, okay, a country in Europe, a country which I have to learn the pronunciation to know about the culture. In 2 3 days only, I can remember how to pronounce the name of the country. But she has been in Malaysia, stay here more than I think 10 to 20 years already. I would say she's very much localized. So that's why she have a very different perspective when talk about this emotional suppression and physical symptom. How these two things interrelated, and she can talk in very angmo way, okay, but in very local context because she have been here, learn all the culture. She can order in mama also, right? Okay, yeah. Without further ado, Miss Katarina, are you online with us?
Yes, I am. Thank you,
Yes,
Wilson.
hi Katarina.
Hi.
Welcome to our show tonight. Okay, so all good. I think I roll over to you.
Okay, thank you, Wilson, for an introduction. And hello, everyone. Thank you for spending your evening with us. And thank you for your willingness to learn something new. Not a very popular topic today, emotions. Of course, not in every culture that's something which we talk about openly. But we are not just going to talk about emotions today. We are going to talk about suppressed emotions, which is um, which is something even deeper. And we are going to talk about suppressed emotions and our physical health. So let's start. Let's start with a question: what actually are suppressed emotions? I'm not just talking about emotions you have suppressed last week when your colleagues made you mad or you had a quarrel with your loved ones. We are talking about emotions you are storing from the time you were a little girl or a little boy. And those emotions are still in your body, even though you might not be aware of it. Your body has a way to remember those emotions. And eventually, those emotions can cost you a serious illness. So, how do we know that our body remembers? We have a scientific proof these days that thanks to epigenetics, all our unprocessed negative emotions, strong emotion, I will call it even traumatic emotions, are stored in our cells. And what that means for us. Well, good thing and a bad thing. Since those emotions are there for a long time, we are able to access those emotions. We actually need to still release them healthily, otherwise, they will be there. And those emotions will cause harm in our body. How do we know that we actually have those stored emotions? We know because we get triggered. We'll go to that later. Let's talk more about emotions and from our perspective living in Asia, okay, even though I come from Europe, 20 years in Malaysia, I can see that even though it's a taboo in most of the countries and regions, Asia is still slightly more specific when it comes to cultural background and emotions. So, how do we suppress and why do we suppress our emotions? I'm sure all of you remember, and even if you don't have kids, you remember from your childhood or you see your friends raising kids, statements like, don't cry, you're not a girl for boys, or don't be angry, people will get scared, people will be scared of you. And slowly, from early childhood, we train ourselves not to feel. And we develop amazing mechanisms to run away from our emotions. Even when we are adults, we rather call our friends, let's go for coffee, we on Netflix, or we do something else just not to face it. And it all comes from the childhood. We already learned that long, long time ago. Maybe with our parents, to make it easy for them. Sometimes we saw them struggle and we knew that if we are emotional, it's just going to be an addition to their troubles. Or we didn't want to make them upset. Sometimes we were punished for feeling emotions. You cried too much, you were angry, throwing tantrums, and the punishment came. And over time, we realized that feeling emotions, it's simply not safe. Not safe at home, not safe in school, not safe with our loved ones, even for those who are supposed to be okay with us to feel emotions. I think first thing I should have said that emotions are part of us, always gonna be. We are humans because we have emotions. That's not something which is very special for some people. That's what makes us human. And we're supposed to be feeling emotions. So, going from there, not feeling those emotions, finding those mechanisms, like, to make sure that we are okay, lying to ourselves, suppressing more and more until we are very, very comfortable not to feel anything. And sometimes it accumulates and suddenly it's overwhelming and comes. But even then, we feel guilty. We do feel guilty for feeling those emotions instead of acknowledging that we were right to feel it. When we felt hurt, when people hurt us, when we went through difficult times, it was okay to feel, actually. And it's still okay, even though we are adults in our 40s, 50s, 60s, it doesn't matter. So, what happens in the body with all these stored emotions I'm talking about? Our body responds in many ways. Our nervous system is different when we have those suppressed emotions. Our hormones are elevated. Our immune system is dysregulated. A lot of chemical reactions come with feeling or suppressing our emotions. It's okay to feel them for a while and then release them healthily. Let's say I'm upset with something, or I'm feeling sad. I lost someone, or I lost, you know, something which made me feel emotional and sad. If I take time, if I sit down and I feel that sadness, the sadness will just simply pass through my body and it will be released healthily. And I kind of process that emotion. My body has processed it. It left my body, it left my cells. And I'm feeling fine. But if I run away from that sadness by watching a movie or something, that sadness didn't go anywhere. It still stays in the body. So you can ask me, how do we know that we have these suppressed emotions? Very simple. We get triggered. We get triggered. Those emotions we actually didn't process when we were young, when we were little children, accumulates there. And it comes from certain traumatic experience or emotional event. We will get triggered in our later in our life with the same emotion. For certain people, I mean, for all of us, actually, there are some emotions keep repeating, most dominant, let's say anger. Some people, you can even see your colleagues or your family members. Like, this one is always angry, or this one is always sad, or different emotions, but very specific emotions. So, how do we get triggered? Let me give you an example. Let's say, as a child, you faced a traumatic experience where let's say, your father left. Okay, so that fear of abandonment, right, is still in your body. You haven't processed it because you had to be strong. Mom had to be strong. You had to be strong for yourself, for her. The trauma is not processed, and there is fear of losing a loved one. Later, let's say you get married and you are in a relationship. That fear of losing someone or someone leaving you, that little girl, that little boy, will kicks in almost every time your loved one is leaving. Let's say your husband, even though he's going for a company dinner or company trip, let's say 3 days, the anxiety and that fear, which you know from your childhood, will kick in. And you will feel exactly the same as that little girl or little boy. And that is the connection between your emotions and where these emotions are coming from, the emotional traumas, where these emotions actually started and they were not processed properly. So, then we get hard on ourselves. We are judged. Maybe she's jealous, she's unreasonable. To your husband, let's say a woman has this kind of fear in her. To her husband, it's absolutely unreasonable. It's something which he cannot understand from a rational mind, right? Why would you panic when I'm just leaving for 3 days? But to you, all the mechanisms will be activated in your body. Means that fear, the heart rate will go up, the hormonal changes, like you are in danger because you were in danger when your father left. I'm just giving you an example for you to relate easily. So, suppress emotions, certain reactions. Why we suppress them? We didn't have an opportunity to feel them fully. There was no one there for us, guiding us, letting us feel. And I think most of us know that we had to be strong somehow. We are proud of ourselves to be strong. Until later in life, we actually understand that the cost is just too high. Unfortunately, most of the time, it's too late when people develop a physical illness because of all these suppressed emotions. And I know that we pay attention to our body, it's all about physical healing. But when we look deeper, maybe even if you can check within yourself, what kind of emotions are you dealing with or keep coming and you keep suppressing them, you will relate to certain patterns and also certain sickness later when we talk a little bit more. So, when we talk about this chronic stress, let's say we have these emotions for many, many years. Our body already develops certain mechanisms. Our body actually doesn't recognize what is happening now and what is happening, what is an old pattern kicking in. So let's say you have anxiety because you are thinking that, let's say, go back to that example, that your husband is leaving and for 3 days, and then you have all these scenarios constantly, not just with this particular event and when he's leaving, constantly, maybe even every day. Your body is in constant chronic stress. And our body is built to handle stress, yes, but a short term stress. We know what happens, we have a chemical reaction in our brain, and that